Hello everyone and welcome to... Wow, messed it up. Close. Try it again. Hello everyone and welcome to Waffles the Good Boy Bonefeather Cagelocke Green Division week number 6. We are getting close to the end of this tournament, but I am assuring you that we are nowhere near past the fun parts of this, because now we're only, I would say, getting into the really meat and potatoes of this tournament. My name is ProPokeNoob. Thank you very much for joining me today. First of all, happy Pokemon Day. You can't see. I decked myself out in badges. Not badges, Pokemon. Wait, 1, 2. 1, 2. There you go. Project broken. Good to see you guys. Happy Pokemon Day. 25 years. The announcements that we got only makes things more and more exciting as we move through as Pokemon fans. Thank you very much for using Sparse Project. You're doing the right thing. But we're not here to talk about just that. We're here to talk about the most pivotal checkpoint, in my opinion, in this entire tournament. Week 6, the Sabrina checkpoint. With the acquisition of the Soul Badge, Surf is on the table, which means the game is on the table. Everything is accessible, and we are about to find out what needs to happen for some of our contestants, some of our players, some of our coaches to make it through to the top 3. First things first, let's take a look at what the standings were at the end of Week 5. It started to look a little more spread out when it came to what exactly is going to determine, who exactly is going to determine the playoffs vision facade, the image, that's the word for it. Currently sitting in first place, the 3-way tie between Code Warlock, Craig Stev, and Pump Gamey. That is a 3-way tie. Happy Pokemon Day, Watcher. It's a 3-way tie. Out of the, I believe the head-to-heads, if they're using the head-to-heads, Code Warlock is in first place. It is up to the rest to make Code lose, or he is going to be walking into the playoffs scot-free. Joe Pluff and Scruppy W Do looking for that 3-3 to keep making that push for the top 3 right now, sitting in a tie for second. And at the bottom, that Doug Zikafoos and Lost Crusader all need to make a move, or they are not going to be making it anywhere further into this tournament. A loss here for any of those 3 players will essentially confirm their exit out of this tournament, but could still be a little bit of a poop disturber if they stay around and, you know, try and mix things up at the top of the standings. So everyone's role is going to be changing after this week, depending on how the scores actually go. Now, of course, we have Sabrina's checkpoint, we have Blaine's checkpoint, and then the Giovanni checkpoint will be determined based on the seeding, so we don't actually know who is going to be playing, but I can tell you right now, based on this, we're going to have to see after today, because there are some head-to-heads that I did, I calculated, and if I am correct, specifically Amy and Code need to watch whether or not they drop any more matches, because right now they're winning in the majority of the head-to-heads. Craig, I believe, also is winning in the head-to-heads, but there's something different about Craig's score that he could actually tie and lose third place depending on who he fights. I can't remember who it exactly was. I could be wrong on that, but I remember for sure Code is in firm first place here. He has the win, I believe, over Craig and Amy. So any ties at the end, if they all go 7-1 at the end of this, will, which I don't think can actually happen because they fight each other. No, they fought each other already. I'm trying to remember who fought who. No, I think Craig and Amy fight this week, right? I had this all planned out. What happened, man? Yeah, Craig and Amy fight this week. So that will pretty much determine what's going to be going on when it comes to the head-to-heads. So very important week here for Craig and for Amy to try and win that in the events of the tie, because it's so close for all 3 of them at the top of the standings. The last thing you want to do is get into a 3-way tie for second, and then you lose it because your head-to-heads will actually kick you out. So important win here for both of them, but Code has the advantage over both of these fine players, because I believe Lost Crusader is the one victory over him. And right now, well, they're sporting opposite scores, so tiebreakers aren't going to hit Code right now, as long as he maintains that super strong performance that we've been seeing throughout the tournament. I was going to fix this, and I didn't. Let me fix this really quickly. Bam! All right! That's not fixed yet. Hold on. Bam! All right! Scores, stats, interesting. Not that many deaths this week. Not all the information was given to me, by the way. Zikafoos being the one who is suffering the most, actually, to the Weezing, the Wartortle, and the Slowpoke loss. Weezing, not a bad Pokemon, right? it is a fairly good physical defensive wall, especially when you're only using stuff from Fire Red and Leaf Green. War Turtle is an unfortunate loss for the Blastoise. I don't know how many more starters are actually left in this tournament between the 3 divisions. I haven't looked at the other 2 divisions very well, but for the looks of it, if the War Turtle is just dying now for Zikafus, I don't know how many people actually have access to stars. I know you can still catch them, but the fact of the matter is the strength of having a Blastoise or Charizard or even a Venusaur on your team is still pretty good. So the fact that we keep seeing these drop does indicate that we're gonna have to see some grinding, and hopefully they can get the grind done in time if they do make it to the playoffs or even to the play-ins to try and get into the playoffs. But as you can see, the one thing that we have to recognize, that's unfortunate, Project. The one thing we have to recognize is just the sheer strength, the sheer amount of catches you can have with Surf, right? Surf gives you access all the way down to Cinnabar, gives you all the way over to Seafoam Islands. You have all the water routes that you can go back and catch it. If you haven't caught in towns, I believe there are still Pokemon in the water in the towns. You have more fishing spots. You just have so many places that have been opened up to you. We are now playing the full game, and that will really determine what Pokemon here people are picking up. Joe Fluff, well, actually, we didn't know anything about that, but Duck, being the one who caught the least, happens to be at the top of the stable here. Just a Nidorino and a Staryu. Duck needs some kind of pressure. Remember, he is not currently sitting in a favorable position. 1-4. A victory needs to happen this week in order for them to even stand a chance. It would have to be like 3 straight victories from here on out, and then Craig and Amy would have to lose 3. But the problem is, one of those 2 have to win today against each other. So 4 is the golden number if they are not going to be showing that they can make it up to 4 after this week. A loss today essentially means that they will not be in contention for top 3 plus head-to-heads. But the important thing is to at least try and put that 4-4 fight at this point for Duck and the like. So anything like that, we're hoping that they can pull out a victory here. I don't remember who they're playing against, but, you know, I look at it afterwards. Haha. Because I organize it differently when I commentate this. Craig catches the Zapdos, the Magmar, Aerodactyl, and Omanyte. Obviously, having that access to Seafoam Islands and the Power Plant mean that you will be able to catch the legendary birds and have that onto your team. I do expect that to be used this week. If we know anything about what's been happening from the beginning to the end, players like Code, players like Craig, they have been using, even I believe Amy, have been using all of their stronger Pokemon to try and get that advantage while not trying, like at this point, they have so many Pokemon to choose from. Even not losing a Zapdos in their playoffs run is like having that many Pokemon and then still being able to use strong Pokemon, even losing that. Yes, it'll suck for the playoffs, but hopefully they'll be able to make it back and still design great teams. That's how much flexibility we're looking at here, how much confidence these players have going in using Pokemon like the Zapdos, maybe an Articuno, whipping out stuff like the Tauros, the Electabuzz. We'll have to see, because these Pokemon could also be safe to keep in the back and still make work. So, but yeah, not a lot of Pokemon caught here for the first 2, but Aerodactyl is a fairly decent Pokemon. Not the best in Gen 3, but its speed mixed with a decent attack stat will help make it a little bit of a revenge killer. Also, sometimes a suicide lead. It doesn't have Focus Sash. Yes, Focus Band exists, but try and just give it something like a Sharp Beak or even a Hard Stone. Just try and get some extra damage out there while using it. It'll do as much as it can, not nearly as much as other generations, but you know, Magmar is a good pickup. Zapdos is a great pickup. Omastar can do wonders, as I believe Shell Smash exists in Gen 3, I believe. So we'll see. Code, however, once again picking up a plethora of Pokemon: Lapras, Zapdos, Goldeen, Seal, Pikachu, Magnemite, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Growlithe, Muck, and Magmar. Again, this is just the power of it, right? Yeah, let's say Warlock sends in his Zapdos today and gets destroyed. He still has an Arcanine on his side, a Magmar on his side. He can have a Charizard on his side. He can still have a Magneton. He can still have a Raichu. He can still, like the thing is, he got the Dugong, like he's got the Venusaur. He's got so many Pokemon he can still use and combo, plus his other Pokemon that have already won are powerhouses already. So it's not like he has lost his he's lost his Snorlax, but he still has his Nidoking. I believe he still has a Tauros in the back because he used it week 1, or week 2. It's really, really powerful. The Mr. Mime as well, right? These Pokemon are still alive. I'm There's a lot of Pokemon to track here, but I can tell you that Code has a very decked out team, and the bench is willing and waiting to destroy anybody that's going to be going into the playoffs, as long as there is a good 6v6 built at the end of the day. So Code has just that much flexibility and control when it comes to going after these 1v1s. The scores are in his favor, the catches are in his favor. There's a lot that is in his favor right now. Amy getting, I think, the most Pokemon here. Dratini, Nidorina, Magneton, Zapdos, Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, Snorlax, Poliwag, Tentacool, Venonat, Seeking Goldeen, Parasect, and Rhyhorn. This tells me, even though losing the Nidoking, this tells me that maybe she wasn't actually going all over the place like we expected. Perhaps she was leveling up her Pokemon more, focusing on cleaning out the trainers and getting some experience on the other Pokemon just to help with the actual Nuzlocke. So instead, now she has all access to it, using it as that cleanup phase. You have the Fly, you have the Surf, you can pretty much go anywhere you need to go, and she used this particular checkpoint to try and just get as far as she can and just have that team ready so that as she's going forward, we'll talk about Blaine and beyond after this series of battles that I'm going to show you after this analysis, because I think at this point we're just going to get to that point where people are leveling up and trying to deck out their Pokemon, and I don't know how many more TMs will be used. I'd be kind of concerned if, like, unless you're losing or you need those 4 victories, like you're talking Duck, Zikafu, stuff like this, whoever wins at the end of the day. Like, if you need those victories, yes, you're going to want to be using those TMs, using as many resources as possible, because you're already on your last legs. You need to get something going, but if you're someone like Amy, if you're someone like Craig, maybe even Scrubby or the likes of like the 2 and 4s and up, you might want to reserve some of the resources just so you can actually super juice your Pokemon getting into the playoffs. But at this point, because we have 3, 4, and 1s at the top, they're all just looking to take the playoff spot, I don't expect people to do that, and frankly, it is probably a better call not to do that and try and use as much power and as many resources as possible, because otherwise, if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. And guess what? Right now, there's a lot of losing that's gonna be happening, because your playoffs contention is on the line. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. But nonetheless, Amy definitely cleaning up here on this particular checkpoint. Lots of Pokemon, lots of potential. We'll see what she ends up bringing out today against Craig. Scrubby WD with the Articuno, Zapdos, Dugong, Omanyte, Kabuto, Aerodactyl, Magneton, and Slowbro. That's a lot of good Pokemon. Slowbro's a very good Pokemon, even if it doesn't have the full potential of it in the future generations, or the Gen 1 power of just using Amnesia and Sweeping. It's a very good Pokemon. Great stats all around minus the speed, but you don't use this thing for speed. It doesn't need to be fast. It's slow, and it's a bro, and it carries the team forward. It flexes its mind to flex your nuts down to the cement floor. It's a very, very, very good Pokemon, and very powerful. The dual stab is very flexible, does a ton of damage, tanks it up, sleeps it off. I don't remember exactly what a Gen 3 Slowbro runs, but it's really good nonetheless. It's always been a solid Pokemon to put on your team, so acquiring that Slowbro, losing the Gengar kind of blows, but acquiring the Slowbro, having access to all these fossil Pokemon, the Dugong, the Articuno, and the Zapdos, does mean that Scrubby has some good Pokemon here. Currently sitting, I believe, at 2 and 3. We have 2 and 3. Yeah, 2 and 3. One of the 2 here, that and Joe Fluff. We're looking to see whether or not they can make the push this week to try and get up to that 3 and 3. They need to make that happen. Otherwise, you know, it's gonna get a little sketchy. So, hoping for Scrubby here to make something happen and continue to try and contest that at least 3rd spot, because that's pretty much all that's going to be open after this week, considering that Craig and Amy are about to decide who's going to win in the 1v1, unless Amy loses the next 2 and then Craig suddenly wins and takes 2nd place. So tiebreakers won't be on the side of the person who loses this particular week. That sucks, by the way, Broken. I'm sorry to hear that. That's okay, though. We'll get it there. Last but not least, the information that we have: Zikafu, the Charmander, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Aerodactyl, Omanyte, Kabuto, Grimer, Weezing, Squirtle, Staryu, and Growlithe. A nice plethora of Pokemon. It's a good buffet of choices. Some of these Pokemon can do well. A Starmie, I think, would be a pretty decent thing in a 1v1. Not good to bring into the 6v6, but also a decent Pokemon to bring into the 1v1s. I think it could do a fair amount of damage, considering that what I might expect this week are the legendary birds. Articuno can't really do much to water types. And Zapdos, yes, but you know, if the person's bringing the Zapdos and all you have is a Starmie because you haven't caught any of the other legendaries, as we see it's not been denoted. I don't think they caught it last week. I would have made note of that. Because actually, they couldn't have because they didn't have Surf. So the fact that we don't have the legendary birds here on the side of Zikafus, if we needed a fodder that could even put up a fight, Surf Starmie might be your call. And, you know, maybe your opponent doesn't bring the Zapdos. Maybe they're worried they're going to lose the bird. What has been the pattern in this division? Not that. They've been bringing their strongest things. Predictable. How many people still have their golems? But if they caught Articuno, you're screwed. But then again, if they don't kill you, that's interesting. I think Golem might actually be okay this week. Because Zapdos is basically screwed if you bring a Golem or any type of rock or ground type. Like even Dugtrio, because then you have to rely on Drill Peck or Wing Attack. But then Dugtrio loses that, so you pretty much need the Golem. Rhydon could be okay unless they bring the Articuno. But we only have... How many people caught Articuno this week? Only... I think it's only Amy, right? No, Scrubby caught it. Did Amy catch it? Yeah, only Scrubby, I think, caught the Articuno. Huh. Golem actually is looking pretty good this week, depending on all the Pokemon that are in. People keep using newer Pokemon because they're going to be stronger, right? So there's no like predictions. It's really not that hard to really think about like, okay, what are some of the strongest Pokemon they can pick up at this particular checkpoint, even if you didn't expect, well, I mean, no, you would have to expect it coming because you don't have Surf. I keep forgetting that Surf is an HM that requires you to beat Koga. Yeah, I don't know. I would just expect their legendary bird to come out this week and just beat them up and go from there. And based on our replays, I think we're going to get something like that. So let's jump into the replays and take a look at the implications here for the scores, because getting an unfavorable matchup here could basically spell doom for your playoffs, and we don't want that for anybody. We never like hearing it, but it happens, and it's just the way it's gotta be sometimes. But nonetheless, let's get into the battles. Where am I? It's good music. It's fine. It can run. It doesn't need to be on time. We just need things to work. Here we go. Let's make that. Oh, yeah. Hey, there we go. Perfect. I'm silly. I keep forgetting that I have it overlaid on the other thing. But let's take a look at this. It is your 4-1 versus your 1-4. And if you're Zikafus, you don't want to see this happening right now, because this is that type of scenario that doesn't help you get any pressure going on. I don't see any way on how Vitamin B could possibly win if like it's 0 speed IVs, 0 EVs on the Zapdos, and max IVs and EVs of speed in the Pidgeotto. I think this is pretty much doomed for Zikafus. His chances are just annihilated in the tournament. A 1-5 basically means Zikafus is out of contention for top 3. But another win for Code here put him up to 5-1. A very, very, very solid victory. And of course, it's just been Code's thing. Bring the strongest, keep the strongest out there, and just if you lose it, he's gonna be okay. He has solidified his position here as a top 3 contender in the Bonefeather Cagelocke. He's just not losing. When is he going to lose? I don't know if he's going to lose, but I definitely think he's going to that playoffs, just the way that we saw that. Next matchup here, That Duck versus Joe Fluff. Joe needing a victory today to get to that 3-3 score. Otherwise, the chances of him pressuring, a lot less likely, but also, That Duck needs to make that move too. Having said that, with the 5-1 happening, and we know Craig or Amy have to win, it comes down to who that 4-2 person is going to be after today, because if that head-to-head's not even in your favor, you probably toast anyways. So, nonetheless, it is a Venusaur versus a Ghastly. Very Venusaur favored, unless you hit the Hypnosis here on the Ghastly. Okay, there could be some cheesing here. Thief? Not going to be doing a lot. Wonder if they have Nightshade to actually use it. It would be doing a lot more damage considering that all the levels are set to level 100. Nightshade is very, very powerful in the 1v1s. Maybe not that good in the actual Nuzlocke, but it is damage. And I mean, Ghastly doesn't have that much to do. As you see the Giga Drain come out here from the Venusaur. This is extremely unfortunate because they need to hit the Hypnosis again to win. That's another miss. It is a 60% accurate move, and I have a feeling he is going to hit it one more time. Never mind. Now, the thing is that once this thing wakes up, it's going to be bad. So he needs 5 crits in a row. He's not going to get it. The second turn wake up is going to be the doom for Joe. Joe needing that victory today. Drop it down to 2 and 4, but Duck definitely needing that victory today. Bumps him up to 2 and 4. So a tie there just becomes more and more sketchy because it's going to matter on the matchups here with the head-to-heads at the end of the day. The third match coming in here, Craig versus Amy. The fight for second place, the fight for the head-to-head in the events of a tie. That cushion, that little bit of protection when it comes down to both of you going maybe 5 and 3 by the end of the tournament and then saying, haha, I beat you though, and controlled by destiny, getting that second position and putting the other person in a stressful spot. Aerodactyl versus Porygon. I do expect Aerodactyl to win this. Now, having said that, Porygon can learn stuff like Ice Beam and Thunderbolt. There is a chance that this type of stuff can happen, but Aerodactyl probably has access to Wing Attack or just Fly or anything that's going to be doing a lot of damage to it. But Porygon can heal it off too, so this should be a very interesting match. I'm not actually sure how this will play out. That's a Hyper Beam just fired off right away, destroying the Polygons, trying to make it as smooth as possible, but it is going to be charged out here as the Psybeam is used, and the Recover is going to be used on the turn that this Hyper Beam is recharging. Ancient Power coming out, that's a decent amount of damage, looking for the boost, but the Recover is going to stall it as long as possible. There is leftovers on the Aerodactyl, so there's a Tri Attack. If there's any type of status that happens, oh man, is that how this is gonna end? Craig needs this win. Conversion to turn it into the Steel type as well. That's a very smart move to keep on the Porygon, but that freeze, it's a very, very low chance that it'll actually thaw, and this just means that Amy, because of having the Steel typing, it is going to thaw out, but the Steel typing is going to keep her super safe. The Psybeam can go for the confusions, Tri Attack can still try and get a status. That Hyper Beam's not going to be doing enough, and I think Craig has pretty much accepted that his moveset is not going to cover this, because between the Recover, the Steel typing, and just tons of attacks on the Porygon, that's 20 Psybeams and that's 10 Tri Attacks. There's not enough here for the Aerodactyl to do. It was a good play by Craig. I do think that Aerodactyl could do it, but at the end of the day, Amy just playing it super smart, having a very good Pokemon here to try and cover as much as possible. Again, this is one of those safe choices. The Conversion 2 can keep you safe against any Pokemon that's not named Zapdos. It can, actually, it would be good against Zapdos. It can stall it out, and yeah, this is just Craig slowly watching his safety net get ripped out from underneath him, because this means with this loss, he's going to be sitting at 4 and 2. Amy having the head-to-head. If they both tie at the end of it, he's got to hope that no one else is tying with them, because Amy could just put the nail in the coffin here for Craig. But a good victory for Amy coming in halfway through this tournament, picking up a team, and now sitting at 5 and 1. Not dropping the ball here for her predecessor. She's holding her own in this tournament. That's good to see. Our last match is going to be Lost Crusader versus Scrubby Nubby Doo, a battle of the legendary birds. So, I thought about this one before I watched it. The determining factor here is actually the special defense stat. If you didn't know, Articuno has base 130 special defense. It doesn't look like it. There's only 5 ancient powers. So, that ancient power will not be able to ever do enough damage unless, like, 3 of them got boosts. So, sadly, good to see you, by the way, Ace. But yeah, this one's interesting. I think Articuno wins this one because it's base 130 special defense. Zapdos is more of an Omni stat type of Pokemon where all of its things are kind of good, and it's a little bit more offensive. Articuno has always been the special defensive Pokemon. So, Ice Beam versus Thunderbolt, I'm pretty sure Ice Beam wins this one. Because it's just the sheer fact that, okay, we can see a Detect come out just to check. The Ice Beam is confirmed on the Articuno as expected. As the Thunder Wave is going to be used to try and cheese it out. That is a good Parahax. This is what you need. But it's going to be Drill Peck used and not Thunderbolt. That is interesting. That crit definitely mattered. But that's a win for Scrubby. And not only does that eliminate Lost Crusader from having a chance to win at the end of the day, try and make it into the contest for the top 3, but Scrubby is going to be going up to 3 and 3, which means he has a chance to push for top 3 now that Craig's down to 4-2. I believe they don't actually have a fight against each other. Link, thank you much for the 19-month resubscription, man. Appreciate that. Good to see a happy Pokemon Day. But yeah, that is a very unfortunate crit, but the Parahax was the right idea. Not too sure what happened with the Thunderbolt. Maybe misclicked or just didn't think about it, but definitely not a great situation here for loss. That's pretty much going to mean that at the end of the day, it's going to be over for them score-wise. So I don't know if I'd call it ballsy or what, Ace, but it's kind of just doomed at that point. So at the end of it all, let's take a look at what we've got here for scores. With that victory, with Code Warlock firmly sitting in first place because he has the head-to-head over Amy, but Amy going to be moving up to that 5-1 with that victory over Craig. Craig's still safe as Scrubby Nubby actually moves up into that 4th position to challenge, and if I recall correctly, the schedule next week is Scrubby going up against Craig, and that's actually going to be one of the most important matches we've seen throughout this tournament, because if Scrubby wins, they both go to 4-3. Scrubby has the head-to-head and will be sitting in 3rd place. Whatever happens in the last week will actually determine that, because Pump Amy and Code can both push up to 6-1 here, but no matter what, if Code keeps going even with Amy, as long as they keep going even and staying above Craig and Scrubby, Code wins 1st place. No problem. The head-to-head wins them that. If Amy doesn't drop, even if Amy drops 1 game and Craig goes up the game against Scrubby, Amy will remain in 2nd. Craig will just sit there as well. There won't be actually any pressure because 2nd and 3rd are the ones that have to go into the play-ins, I believe. So, kind of Craig is being a little bit of an Amy, like an Amy fan right now, as well as hoping that Joe Fluff and Duck and everybody else doesn't try and upset the balance here. Because as long as Craig beats Scrubby next week, he will stay safe in top 3. If he doesn't, and Scrubby wins, Scrubby becomes an Amy fan and hopes to take down Craig in hopes to get into that play-ins and hopes to make it into the playoffs. I know there's a lot of conditions, but I mean, it's better than him not having any of those conditions at all. So, good showing here for Scrubby. Unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to Zikafoos and LC's chances of making it into the playoffs. A valiant effort throughout this tournament, but 3 wins is just not going to cut it, especially when the bar is at least 4. So, you know, it feels, it's tough. It's a long tournament. It's a lot that you have to work through. Some bad luck. Lost Crusader could walk out knowing that he has put a bit of a dent in Code Warlock's record. Otherwise, he would have been sitting at that 6-0 right now. But that victory in the end of the day will mean that there is something to smile about. Zikafoos also having a pretty tough run at it. Multiple wipes. Not that much luck throughout the 1v1s as well. So, you know, it's going to be a tough one, but I mean, they could still upset the balance here. It's still going to matter with them doing the matches and trying to maintain as much pressure as they can and just try and keep things interesting, because otherwise we're just going to see Warlock, Amy, and Craig walk through, say, easy peasy, although we don't know that because Scrubby has a decent chance to take on Craig. Now, Craig with that loss today, Craig ended up losing his Aerodactyl, which isn't the biggest deal because, again, they can't use it again. I don't believe they could use Pokemon twice. But Scrubby keeping his Articuno safe, the Aerodactyl dying off here. Craig still has a decent team, and Scrubby does as well. So the nice thing about being at 3-3 and being able to catch a lot throughout the weeks, like he's caught quite a bit here, if I recall. Let me see here. Yeah, Scrubby has some decent Pokemon that he could be whipping out. I really don't know what's going to happen next week because we've pretty much reached that point where you can catch everywhere. So now we might be going kind of into that blind spot of there's no new Pokemon. The strength is pretty much at its max. You can't go catch Mewtwo. What on earth are we actually going to be looking at? I think the answer is all of these secret hidden OP things that people have been grinding up will show up. Especially for Craig versus Scrubby, they need to get that victory. Amy and Warlock still need to maintain being up there. Just because, remember, just because they're 5-1 sitting at the top with the head-to-head doesn't mean it's just an easy walkthrough. For all of them. I would agree, Ace. I think a lot of people are going to go after the Articuno because Scrubby, I think, displayed what that could do. Even though most of the Zapdos have been used for the people that matter in terms of the standings. Articuno coming out next week. will probably be a thing. And what do I want to see? I don't actually know. I don't know what you would bring. I think if you haven't used your Arcanine might not be a half bad thing. There's a plethora of water Pokemon on people's teams, so maybe whip out a Raichu. Raichu is good, but not the best. Knowing that, maybe people see a bunch of Zapdos are just like, well, if they're not using the Zapdos, then I could probably use a water Pokemon. You just whip out one of those surprise Magnetons or Raichus to try and put pressure down on that. But this is kind of that point now where we get a little scary, and it gets a little scary, and for everybody now it actually becomes a bit of a table turner, because it's not just catch and use the strongest per se, right? Code, Amy, Scrubby, Craig, all of these people who have been just using these super strong Pokemon to make it through. There is no cap anymore. The cap's been hit. Now it's just everything underneath. Not in a bad way, but it's like, okay, here was OP #1 at this checkpoint. Blaine's checkpoint doesn't have anything OP locked behind him. So, out of the Sevi Islands, I guess, but Sevi Islands would be Moltres, and Moltres is a very risky Pokemon to use in a 1v1. Very risky. But, I don't even remember the rules on. I thought Sevi was only post Giovanni for you guys. I don't remember, but nonetheless, I'm excited to see how this is going to go, because it's less about what is the strongest thing you pick up at this checkpoint and more about what have all those 2.5 hours been invested in every week to set up for the end game here. First through Al's, then Giovanni? Are you guys allowed to go to it? Oh, you are allowed to go to it. Okay, so you can't get Moltres yet because I believe Moltres is on aisle 5? Or aisle 6 or something like that. You don't get him right away. I know that much. No, you don't have to do Sevi Islands. Yeah, you don't have to do Sevi Islands. I skip it in my Nuzlocke so that I don't get screwed with levels and getting stuck there. Moltres is aisle 1? Is it? No, you could actually say no to, you could say no to Bill and return whatever you want. Because if I recall correctly, Waffles is giving anyone who makes it to top 3 an hour to grind out anything else after the Elite Four. Like if you beat, like after you beat the Elite Four, you get 1 hour after that or something like that to grind everything out. But no, you do not have to go to Sevi Islands to progress story. You could actually say no and then go fight Giovanni. So I mean, but the thing is, Code is right. If you do choose to go there for the levels and to make that happen, it becomes very scary because you are stuck there and you have to complete the story. So if you're looking to grind people up, you know, the amount of time that you have to put in to beat aisle 1, 2, and 3 before you can leave back home is pretty extensive. So unless you're preparing that for the hour grind post-game, I mean, grinding in Victory Road just sounds way better in my opinion, especially since your levels get boosted in the 1v1s, and you have a lot more control outside of Sevi Islands to make that type of stuff work. So I would just personally skip Sevi Islands right now. Moltres is not that important. You can go back for Moltres later in that one. I'm pretty sure you could beat Sevi Islands in under an hour if you just absolute rush it with your strongest Pokemon in the Nuzlocke. But in terms of semantics and just safety, like really at this point, there's no risk that's forcing you to have to grind this much because of the level increases, and you've pretty much hit the majority of the TMs. I don't even remember how many good resources there are on the Sevi Islands, so. And Victory Road has a pretty decent XP gain. I don't know exactly what's fully in there, but the fact that Pokemon are mostly level 36 and up, you're going to be perfectly fine grinding in there. Fighting the stronger things at level 40 and stuff like that. You're near a heal too. Once you get through Victory Road, just go back to Indigo Plateau to heal. I mean, it'll be a bit of a challenge trying to get through it, but taking out all the trainers will be worth it for the money so that you can buy as many full restores and revives as needed to go through the Elite Four. If you lose anything in the Elite Four, it's kind of like, ouch, but simultaneously, that'll be for our top 3 to worry about, because I think after the 8th badge, I don't think anybody who's not in the playoffs has to worry about the E4, I believe, so it should be interesting. It's going to be interesting. This tournament has turned out to be much more topsy-turvy than I thought, with still some pretty consistent things. Code being at the top of his game, Amy taking over and staying consistently at the top as well. But now with Craig having to, well, I mean, somebody had to be 4 and 2, and that has to be Craig today. Now, if I recall correctly, I think I marked off Joe Fluff and Duck because they both lost the head-to-head to Craig, I think that's why I had them marked off before to not be in contention, but we'll confirm that next week. Oh, absolutely, Ace. Yeah, you don't want to just be you don't want to be taking every Pokemon fight in there. Like Victory Road still has a ton of trainers that you have to fight, or you could accidentally fight, and they have some good Pokemon. So you want to save as much HP as possible and as much time having to heal them up and stuff like that. Oh wait, you can't even revive. I'm kidding. You can only buy full restores. It's a Nuzlocke. I remember. It's fine. It's fine. Shh. This isn't being recorded or uploaded to anything. But yeah, I'm very, very curious to see what Pokemon they take out, because the thing is, we don't have, like, as you've noticed, I've just shown the Pokemon that's caught. I don't know their total rosters on every player, so all of a sudden we're just gonna see all these Pokemon coming out of the woodwork that's been grinding up in the back. Maybe the Golducks, the Starmies, like I said, the Magnetons, the Arcanines, the Ninetales, like all these different Pokemon coming out. But I do expect that people will kind of take their B tiers, their C tiers, or like their low A's and their top B's to try and just take the victories at the end of this. Kangaskhan's not bad. It doesn't get as much as it should in Gen 3, but Rhydon's not a bad pickup either. Considering there's a lot of water types you can use defensively, or just to take the hits, Rhydon would be pretty good. A lot of people I don't think have a good physical wall, because I think a lot of people have lost their coughings and wheezings. Muck is not, it's more HP than bulk. You have to remember, for every 4 EV investment in defense, it halves the damage by 75%. For every EV investment into HP, it's about a 50% damage reduction. So investing into defense is the best. That's why when people build Pokemon defensively, they do HP and defense, because it gives them the 75%, full 75% reduction on the one hand, and plus the 50% on top of that for just Omni blocking and Omni absorption. So if you do max defense, max special defense, they have 75% reduction on both the defense and special defense side, but HP has to be decent. Yeah, I mean, EV training really, like in this tournament, if someone is able to EV train in this tournament, you're probably losing, right? It's really hard to do because you're nuzlocking and you're trying to get through the game in a time limit. If someone has cracked the code, sorry, code, not to use your name like that, but if someone has figured it out, then they're going to win. I was going to say Golem. If Golem is still in, I think Golem's not a bad poke to bring either. I would give it to Rhydon more. I think it's slightly more stats. Slightly more. But yeah, I don't think grinding is EV grinding is going to be as important in this. I really do think it will be team comp and having just a solid 6v6, having those defensive options. Because most times what ends up happening is, if you're not using EVs or IVs and taking that into consideration, in my opinion, offensive play works a little better because the type advantage is going to give you just that much more, considering that Pokemon, you know, just shaving off, like them taking 15 to 20% more than what they usually would in normal competitive when you do full investment is important, because it could turn a 3-hit KO into a 2-hit KO. And if you have the speed tier victory where you're just faster than the opponent, you're going to win that, right? Why would you want to grind an Eevee? Who said that? Who's killing Eevees? Nobody's killing Eevees, Link. Now Umbreon, though. That's an easy fight. I didn't say grind an Eevee. No, Eevee. Anyways. Base said, thanks for the host, man. Appreciate it. But, yeah. In this, I'm going to... Like, if you have good defensive pokes, like, you want the best... Somebody ban Link. I'm just kidding. But if you have, like, the best defensive core, right? Like, really, if you think about it, if you're looking for a good defensive core, Slowbro Chansey's not too bad, right? You could... like, I'm just thinking about general, like, Slowbro Chansey can do it. Some type of Golem Wheezing type of thing, right? No, Link's been banned. That's okay. No. Like, I'm just trying to think of the Pokemon that you want to run, because the thing is, of course, it's going to depend on whether or not they actually have defensive moves. So, generally in this situation, I expect people to be a little more offensive in this tournament, and then once you maybe get to the top, like the semis, you'll start seeing people get a little more creative with what their Pokemon are bringing, so... I do think having the type advantage is going to be important, and you guys don't get team preview because you're doing Gen 3, so It's kind of spooky. That means I expect the Electabuzz Gyarados to be used or stuff like that. The whole Gyarados Rhydon bait and switch. Too bad we don't have Garavire from Gen 4, but I don't expect anyone to get that funky in this particular tournament. Yeah, I do think offense will win it. Unless you have like a super defensive stalling team, which can happen. We saw Will-O-Wisp on Ninetales already in one of the matches. I think it was Amy actually using Will-O-Wisp on her Ninetales. So obviously those types of utility attacks are going to be useful, and having defensive Pokemon with defensive movesets will be your best asset. But again, without it being, you know, having the max reduction in what side of the defense is trying to be, offense is going to generally break it. Well, breaking is not going to be that important, I don't think, unless you have a Pokemon that's kind of struggling, doesn't have a good moveset. Choice Band probably not going to be as important as usual in Gen 3. You could use it, but it's just like Leftovers is so good. You guys only get one Leftovers. I don't know if there's more than one Leftovers in this game. Maybe a second one somewhere, but I'm trying to think of the items that people would use. Probably some, like I'm expecting a Focus Band somewhere, a Leftover somewhere for sure. There are Lax Incenses. There are 2 Leftovers? Okay, there are 2. So if you get the 2 Leftovers, you have a Focus Band somewhere. Probably, I can't remember Citrus. What else is in this game? Citrus Berry exists? Yeah, Citrus Berry should exist, but it's not the 25%. Quick Claw could be okay. Any type of 20% damage boosting. Remember, you don't want to use incenses. I believe they are weaker in the earlier gens. They only do 10%, whereas like Mystic Water and Charcoal does like 20% boosting. They are? Okay. Yeah, you only have Choice Band accessible to you, so no Scarf, so Speed Tears will be very important. There's a lot of... Shell Bell can be good. Shell Bell can be okay. You need a Pokemon like Rhydon who's gonna use the Shell Bell. You need something that could dish out a lot of damage and then take enough damage on one end of the defensive spectrum in order for the healing to be worth it. There's like it doesn't make any sense to put, like, just to use as an extreme example, there's no reason to put a Shell Bell on a Deoxys, because at the end of the day, you healing 10% when you're going to take 70% back makes no sense. Something like Aerodactyl wouldn't be that good with a Shell Bell unless you're like dodging priority attacks. You need something like Muck. Muck would be okay, but it's better than Leftovers. But I mean, if you needed some type of thing, like something that has good offense, but also could take a hit, it's kind of like a bruiser. Think of it more of a bruiser, not so much a tank or an assassin, like more of a bruiser role. So it's out there just kind of smacking it down. So even something like Nidoking wouldn't be the worst with it, right? I think Leftovers would be wasted on a Nidoking. It'd be more about just healing off that. Evasive could be good. It's got to be evasive and deal damage, though. Because the Shell Ball doesn't work unless you have something that's going to deal the damage and heal it up, right? It only gives you 1 HP per 10 points of damage that you deal. So, however much you value those extra points of HP, again, you're restricted on the items you can use because Gen 3's items are just eh. I do want to see a lot of Lumberry and Chestoberry use. I do think there is value in using Lumberry, Chestoberry if something has Thrash or Petal Dance, using Persimberry. I can't remember if those are actually in this game, but I do want to see berry usage because I think the berry usage will be important too. I know you get berry usage once you go to the Berry Forest and Sevi Islands. Porygon, I mean, we saw it today against that Aerodactyl, right? If played well and gotten up to... You can't get to Porygon too. So Porygon is just sort of... It's scary. The nice thing is there's not that many fighting type Pokemon. I don't expect a lot of fighting types. If people use fighting types, it'll either be the Machamp or a Machoke or like a Primeape. I don't... Hitmonchan is not that great. Hitmonlee can do more though. Because it will actually have access to a good fighting move in High Jump Kick. But... Like, Hitmonchan doesn't get access to anything good fighting-wise. It gets Mach Punch, I think. I think that's pretty much it. It doesn't actually get fighting moves. It gets, like, Submission, but it's not good, right? It can learn Mega Kick, but that's a normal move, so... I think bulky normal types will be okay. It'll come down to the coverage, right? If something just happens to carry Cross Chop. Or Submission, I guess, or something like that. High Jump Kick. I think Hitmonlee could actually do quite a bit of damage in this tournament. As long as you have something to deal with Psychic. So if you take something like a Dark-type Pokemon, so let's say you get an Umbreon on your team. Not that Umbreon's like the most offensive Pokemon. I'm trying to think of a good Pokemon that's Dark-type in Gen 1. There isn't any. Something with Crunch, managed with like a Hitmonlee to manage out the Psychics. That'd be good coverage. A lot to think about. Well, we need to see who's going to be making it in first, so... we'll have to see that next week. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Week 7 will be streamed next week. Or not streamed, but it will be showing off next week. And after that, we'll be taking a look at who's going to be fighting each other in the final week, because it's rank based. And yeah, we're getting there. And then we get to the 6v6 considerations. We'll have to look at the full rosters and just be like, oh boy, out of 40 Pokemon, what do you bring? Probably just the 6 best. If we have a Pachirisu level Trickery in this tournament, I'll be super. If Porygon is the Pachirisu, or even like Hitmonlee is like the Pachirisu of Waffle's tournament, I'll be happy. I'm just looking for that. I'm just looking for that sneaky one good Pokemon that everybody sleeps on, and just that person wins it with it. It's the Mega Audino of Bonefeather's Cagelocke. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week for week 7. Take care. Okay, we're good. Hi guys. What's up? What's going on? Yeah. Oh, my back. Why is my back so stiff? On time, too, because I have another commentary at 12 and then at 3. My voice is going to be so shot today. And then tomorrow, I've got my tournament tomorrow at 3, too, the one I'm running. Thank you. I figured I'd dress up for Pokemon Day, so I've got the Gengar shirt that I got from my friend for my birthday, and then just put some badges on my sports jacket. So I have more of them upstairs. I just didn't want to stack too many of them because it just becomes like this wild thing. So yeah, figured I'd dress up a bit for Pokemon Day. So just to let everybody know, there is a schedule that's going to be happening with me. So what's going to be happening in 30 minutes? In 30 minutes, the Patreon Commentate Over Anything show, where you basically drop me random clips and I commentate just like I do in tournaments here over those clips. I don't know what they're going to be, but it's going to be random stuff. I've got Pro ZD content over there. I've got like someone blowing a bubble. I think I have somebody sitting in a corner. I don't know, but I'm going to be commentating over anything that you give me, and that'll be over if you are a $5 or above patron. That's an exclusive show, by the way. You will not see any of it unless you see highlights that are posted on YouTube, but to get access to the full show, it is Patreon exclusive. Ox, holy cow! Ox owns a house and she gives me money? Wow, I didn't know you could have those two luxuries at once, but thank you for a 32-month resubscription. You continue to be a fellow noob and embrace the face. That is a multiple of 4. What would you like to add as a name or trainer class, Ox? Congratulations on the home ownership. Congratulations on your life. Your life is sounding pretty good right now, from what I've been reading. But yeah, basically, Commentate Over Anything show on Discord and Patreon. I'm going to try and stream to both of them. Sorry, I'm just going to spam you a bunch of links now. At 3 p.m., I'll be over on twitch.tv/themillibug to be commentating Pokemon Emerald speedrunning with Millie. And then tonight, kind of after the tournament's done, I take a little bit of a break, eat some stuff like that. We'll be back for some Pokemon Day shenanigans on the channel. So basically, if you want to find me in the next 30 minutes, be a $5 patron or up to watch the show. See me on Millie's stream at 3, and then around like 6:30. I know the schedule says around 6, probably like 6:37. Find me back here live. We're gonna be playing some stuff that some of you may have never seen before, but you're gonna see it, and it's gonna be very, very fun. If you want hints, even a $1 Patreon tier can see the hints. So make sure you do that. And then tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time is my tournament, the Multi-Gen Randoms Showdown Tournament, the first tournament of the year. I do run a lot of my own tournaments. Part of this is going to be, it is a randoms battle. You don't have to build teams. You can sign up between 2 and 3 p.m. All you have to do is show up, be in my Discord. I give you the role. I get you set up with everything that you need to succeed during the day. You'll be going through random battles, but not just any random battles. You and your opponent will be drafting and banning generations to be battling in. So let's say I'm fighting Code Warlock. Code Warlock bans Gen 2 because he doesn't want to play that stupid sleep talk bullshit. And then I ban Gen 1 because Gen 1 is broken as all balls, even though I love Gen 1. Then from there, he would draft Gen 5. We battle in Gen 5. He kicks my ass, even though I was a competitive Gen 5 player. I go, okay, I lost. Best of 3. Now I choose Gen 7. I beat him, and then he chooses the tiebreaker. Best of 3s. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to take a lot of semantics with it. Just people have to kind of communicate with each other a little more. But this tournament has been in the works since August and has been, like, kind of developed and organized, and I have kind of the fail safes to anything that could happen. There are still things to realize in terms of rulings, but tomorrow is the test. If you guys would like to join, I'll be live around 2. The tournament starts at 3. The tournament will last around 3 to 4 hours. It's a one-day event, and anybody can sign up. Doesn't matter on your skill level. It's going to be very, very fun. Like I said, it's a drafting tournament for generations. So if you're a fan of Gen 4 and you don't want to play in Gen 8, ban Gen 8, battle Gen 4. It's that simple. So yeah, it'll be in random battles. So you know, like Gen 4 randoms, Gen 5 randoms on Pokemon Showdown, it'll be that. So basically what will happen is you and your opponent will both ban a generation that you can't choose to battle in, and then based on whatever ruling I use tomorrow, somebody will pick a generation and you do a random battle in that generation. The loser of that match will then tell you what the next generation you're going to battle in is. You can't reuse generations. Oh, it's not that hard. Trust me, it's really not that hard. Oops. Oh yeah, you already know that because you're in the tournament. You know what the channel is. But yeah, I'll actually show you here. Let me, you guys get a sneak peek of what it's gonna look like tomorrow too. Here we go, ready? I gotta log on to Showdown first. It's really simple. We will be in a particular room so that's easy for everybody to find each other. Oh. Ooh, wait. Shit, why did I enter a battle? Okay. Oh, this man got a Dracovish. That's what I want to see. Okay. Yeah, okay. Nah, screw you, kid. No way. I'm not fighting that stupid thing. What time is it for you? 8 p.m. 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. GMT. It only run like 3-4 hours. If you have to drop out because you're getting tired, don't worry about it. So basically, this is what you do. You go here. You you'll click on someone's name on the side. Let's just borrow someone's name here. Hey, you Alpha Ninja. Cool. Okay, so this is what happens. You and your opponent are talking, going like, "Hey, I can fight that." Sweet, Link, do it. I'll give you the role on Discord if you'd like it. So here you go. So all you're gonna do is the format here. You guys are gonna draft between on down to the bottom. Oh boy, I can't show you because it's at the bottom here. Basically, if you scroll over here, you see OM of the month. If you go all the way down to the bottom, it'll say randomized metas. Second column to the right. So randomized metas, it'll show Gen 1 randoms, Gen 2 random, Gen 3 random, Gen 4 random, Gen 5 random, Gen 6 random, Gen 7 random battle, and then Gen 8 random is, as you can see, the standard. So basically in this one, you could type and be like, hey, I'm banning Gen 3. You do not need to stream it. No. So the way that it'll work tomorrow is you guys don't have to wait to be streamed for your battles to go. You can play on your own and just report the scores in my Discord. I will choose people to stream, and you guys will do the drafting and banning with me. That way we can organize it, because as you saw, I have a little cool setup for tomorrow, which is actually going to be fixed up tonight. I just got reminded I have to fix that. But as you can see, we're going to be showing off the statistics at the bottom. I have Pokeballs when you win battles. It's really cool. So. No, don't worry. No. This does not have to be streamed. If you would like to stream it or share the word and just do your battles online, feel free to, but it is not required in any way. Also, if you're not comfortable with being on the restream, unless you're going into the brackets, like let's put it this way, if you're gonna go to the finals, you are gonna have to be on stream, right? So not you yourself, you don't have to be in a call, by the way. You don't need to. We can do all this. I make rooms for you guys in Discord, so you guys could just do all of your communication in rooms. You also saw you could click on someone's name and type to them in Showdown. All you have to do is report to me in the Discord the bans and what gens you guys played and what the final score was. That's it. Easy peasy. And then if you're on with me, I'm gonna be tracking that for you. So all you have to do is be vocal and be good with that. So. But it's open to everybody. There's no limit to how many people can show up to the tournament. The more the merrier, obviously. The more battles, no big deal. The format, if it's a certain size that's too small, we'll do a round robin or a double round robin and just go to the finals. If we do actually get a sizable number of people that come out, we will do a double elim just to make it quick. Because the minimum in a double elim will at least be 4 random battles. So if you're someone like let's put it this way: if we get like 8 people, probably you're looking at a round robin, right? So that's 7 battles, minimum of 2 per thing. So you're doing a fair amount, but it's random battles. So you don't have to build a team. You just kind of jump into it. It's very easy to talk to your opponent and be like, I'm banning this. And then based on the semantics that I give you guys tomorrow, okay, I picked this generation, right? I'm not expecting people to sit there and be like, okay, so Ace really likes Gen 4. Like, he's played Gen 4 every single gen. I don't know what to do with that and totally not ban it, right? Like, I don't expect that much skill in this one. I expect people to play the gens they want to play and ban the gens they hate. I don't expect anyone to play Gen 1 or 8 tomorrow. I don't. I have a feeling 1 and 8 will be banned all day. Maybe 2. I think Gen 4 will be the least banned, because I think most people like the Gen 4 meta. That's when it kind of started to get a little... I mean, if you guys do Gen 1 battles, I'll be so friggin' excited, because that's the one I know the most about. Gamma and I playing Gen 1 battles non-stop, I've learned. Yeah, no, it's not banned. It's not banned. But I think people will ban Gen 8 because they hate... what's it called? This music's been playing non-stop. Can we have different music? I need different music. Wait. Oh, I can't play some of this music anymore. I'll actually get DMCA'd. How you doing, officer? Good to see you, man. But yeah, like this is the way that these are my predictions, okay? Gen 1 will not be like, because a lot of people hate Gen 1 mechanics and don't understand them fully, even though it's one of the most balanced metas. Gen 2 is absolute bullshit. Everything is fat, everything has rest. It's a really long battle. And I would probably ban Gen 2 the most myself, just because I hate that type of format. The meta is extremely dry and very, very thick. Gen 3 is very balanced. It can be a little dependent on the legendaries. The legendaries have a little bit more pressure over normal Pokemon because not many things were super jacked up unless you get like a Salamence or Metagross. So, but Gen 3 kind of has a pretty balanced meta. Gen 4 is a pretty fun meta, although you can end up with some movesets like that stupid dual screen Thunderwave Kinesis Kadabra. That's the nightmare poke I hope nobody ever gets. Yeah, so exactly, Code. So basically, to let you know, if you join the tournament tomorrow, the brackets are best of 3. So you'll be banning a gen and then playing no more than 3 gens after that. There are 8 gens, which means the chances of you playing outside your comfort zone is a minimum of once or twice. It's not that bad per match, but the quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, however much we do, probably just the finals, or semifinals if there's that many people, will be a best of 5. So you'll be banning 2 gens, and you gotta play 5 games, which means only 1 gen is not getting any love in that thing at max. So, that's where it gets interesting. Yes. Yeah, everyone with Alakazam and Mewtwo. Yeah, that'll be fun to watch in Gen 1. But, yeah, Gen 4 is a pretty decent meta. Gen 5 is one of the more balanced metas, probably one of the best balanced metas. Gen 6, you start getting into Megas. Megas can twist a randoms battle pretty quickly. Gen 7, you get Z Crystals, but you have access to, like, a plethora of things. There's so many things in Gen 7 that can go right or wrong for you, so it's kind of hard to tell with that. And then Gen 8 just has Dynamax and Gmax, which I don't expect a lot of people are going to like. We're not banning Dynamax and Gmax. The whole challenge of this tournament is you play to the mechanics that it gave you. So, to my knowledge, I believe the Explosion Suicide Win rule ended in Gen 6, I think. Basically, there was a time where you could use Explosion. You had 1 Pokemon left and they had 1 Pokemon left. And you use Explosion and you killed them, you won. But I think in Gen 5 or 6, they changed it where if you use Explosion and kill off your opponent's Pokemon, they win because your Pokemon died first because you exploded. I don't remember when that changed. I also don't know if randoms take that into consideration. We're just going to use whatever Pokemon Showdown says as the ruling. You have been warned. Yes, you don't have to build the team at all, Ace. So it'll be so it won't be like Kyogre learns Flamethrower. It won't be randomized like my randomized Nuzlocks. It'll be competitive movesets that Showdown has predetermined. There's like 2 or 3 movesets per Pokemon in random battles. So you're not always going to get the same moveset, unless you play Gen 1. But you're not going to get the same moveset most times. So in one battle, let's say Gen 4 Furret, you might get like Leftover Sucker Punch, and then there might be another Gen 4 Furret where it has like Silk Scarf Frustration or Return, stuff like that. So there will be certain things to watch out for. They are kind of determined, so the more you do random battles, this is the nice thing, the more random battles you practice, the more you learn what the Pokemon could have, and just kind of like the rotation of 10, 11 attacks that they could run in random formats. But yes, the Pokemon, their items, it won't be anything useless, though. They will give you competitive Pokemon. So you can't be like, hey, this guy got a Deoxys with Life Orb, and I got a Beedrill with, like, Grass Mail. No, you will actually get, if you get a Beedrill, you will get a moveset that would make it good. It doesn't mean you're going to win, because it's still Beedrill versus Deoxys, but you won't have a completely useless Beedrill that just gets, like, Poison Sting. You will get, like, a Twin Needle Sludge Bomb moveset in Gen 3 and below type of thing, for example. So, you will be given competent Pokemon. The skill becomes the actual battling and managing your resources, managing RNG. It is a bit of a wild format because you can literally play your best and still get screwed because your opponent gets 4 legendaries. There is a veto rule that I think are we using the veto rule tomorrow? Yes, you may veto 1 per series. So basically on turn 1 before anyone starts, you can, if you look at your opponent, they see they have a Kyurem White and you led with a Vespiquen, you can say in the beginning, I veto this. And that is your 1 for that game, then you start up another Gen 5 battle. Everybody gets 1 per series. So every best of 3, you guys get to do it. The person who started the battle gets to choose whether or not they veto first. So you'll both have to just be like, okay, let's go. Before you start that battle. The moment turn 1 goes, you can no longer veto. So you can't wait for them to switch it to their Mega Mewtwo X and be like, you know, I don't like this matchup anymore. No, you have to do it from turn 1. So basically the knowledge you get to do with that veto is your 6 Pokemon and their lead. It's very fair. We're going to stick with it. We'll work with the rules eventually. But I think 1 veto, 1 makes it quick so we're not sitting there forever with people vetoing nonstop and trying to roll the dice nonstop. And 2, like, you have to save that veto. Like, how bad is it going to be, right? Will you know what gen your opponent picked? Yes, you will see it in advance. You cannot say no, though. So you can't veto the generation. You can only veto the battle in front of you. So, like, if your opponent... So, let's say, like, you are facing me, and I have first ban, first pick. If I ban Gen 3 and you ban Gen 6 and I choose Gen 5, you can't say no. You have to battle in Gen 5. But if you load into that Gen 5 match, and I have a Mewtwo and you have a Weedle... You can say, after I say, yeah, I'm good to go, I'm ready to fight this, and you say no, we do another Gen 5 battle. And then I have to choose whether or not to veto, otherwise that battle plays through. And you can't veto for the rest of that best of 3. I'll have visuals and explanations for it tomorrow. It's not that complicated. Like I said, it's been in the works for months because it's a little bit more extensive and I didn't have this much time to run it before. But that's why we're going live an hour before it tomorrow so we could show everybody how it's going to work and go from there. Not concerned in the slightest. Not at all. Not whatsoever. And I'm always happy to answer any questions. There's no salt, right? It's a friendly competitive tournament, right? It's here to have fun. It's here to test rulings. We want to come up with good tournaments so that we can run them nonstop throughout the year. We like to run tournaments throughout the year and make that happen. So the more that I can run of that, the better it is. It's always a community project to try and bring people in. I'm just appreciative that people want to play in tournaments. That's not winning them anything but bragging rights and a little bit of Pokemon fun. So, you know, I'm just happy that people are even considering doing the tournaments because I love commentary and I love running events. Link, you know that. Shut up. I've been asking to be the PokeLink event organizer for a year now. The moment you told me you had events, I'm like, please, sir, make me a co-founder. Do it. You won't let me. You won't let me do it. You didn't let me do it. Otherwise, I would have made this the PokeLink event. I did advertise it, and nobody showed interest. At least from the thing, because I didn't want to post my Discord link in the PokeLink, because it's just kind of awkward. It's like, hey, here's my link. Come join my tournament. Bye. No, but dude, you get the okay from Jez. I'll start running tournaments bi-monthly. Every 2 months. I can run one every 2 months. It's gonna be very busy during Extra Life. I do actually want to do, I should mention this, I do want to do some form of charity tournament this year for Extra Life. Epic Fail, thank you much for that, host, appreciate it. But I do want to do some type of charity event. I want to do a couple of big events with people who are streamers and stream regularly. I want to get some like big events going on for charity this year. Millie, no, don't come over here. Oh, balls. I'm about to go offline. But thank you very much for the raid, Millie. Hello, everyone, from Millibug stream, who is here to bug me. I killed a spider earlier. Take that as you will. My name is ProPokeNoob. I am a tournament commentator, organizer. I am a randomizer aficionado. I love randomized nuzlocks of Pokemon, randomizer speedruns of Pokemon. I just finished commentating the tournament because I got to go run over to my Patreon show now because I don't want to have a voice today. So guess what, Millie? You're going to be carrying me during the 3 p.m. commentary. Happy Pokemon Day, by the way, everybody. Nagi, Hero, Sonic, good to see you guys. Shawnee. Who won? Who won? Did Killabee win? I was watching it before I came over here. Why is this music so good? Why does Black and White have such fantastic music? Actually, Black 2, White 2 also. This is Black 2, White 2. This is Lentimus Town. Sonic, thank you much for that follow. Appreciate it. We were just talking about all the tournament stuff we have going on. If you are a fan of Pokemon, and you're not watching Millibug during her randomizer or Emerald Bingo speedruns, join me at 3 p.m. today on her channel to watch another NA qualifier. And if you want to play Pokemon semi-competitive in a randomized format where you draft and ban generations, the Multi-Gen Showdown tournament on my channel is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Runs about 3 to 4 hours. Be here at 2. We'll get you hooked up at the Discord. We'll get you hooked up at the channel. We'll get you hooked up at the bracket. We'll make sure you know how to use Pokemon Showdown inside and out, that you could do an anatomy class. Yeah. It's true. It is true. Epic fail. Well, no, I have been plugging it. That's where I have to go. I have to leave because we have the Patreon show in 10 minutes. Like, I have to go rest my voice. But Patreon show in 10 minutes. My Discord on Patreon as well. All you gotta be is a $5... All you have to be is a $5 patron or above to join in the festivities. Watch it live. It will be recorded and accessible to everybody on the Patreon. So, actually, Patreon $5 and up. Patreon $5 and up. That's what it is. So, I'm still new to it, okay? It's yeah, please. Spare me. But yeah, I have to go. Let's send you somewhere else. We're just throwing around the community like a sack of potatoes. That's okay. I think Twitch viewers are pretty much used to it now. Like, I'm a Twitch viewer, and whenever I go on, like, 9 raids when I'm asleep, I'm just like, whee! Throw me over here, streamer! I'm flying. You know what? Let's do a super raid here. We're gonna get Becky. Miss Becky is a lovely community member in both ends, mostly on Millie's side, but she's doing a Wind Waker rando, and Wind Waker randos are cool. I used to do Wind Waker randos last year co-op. So let's go say an enormous hello over to her, and I will see you guys on the Discord in 10 minutes, or I will see you on Millibug's channel in 3 hours, or I'll see you back here tonight in 6 hours, or I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time for the tournament. Happy Pokemon Day. You're getting content for the entire friggin' weekend, and I'm going to be next week completely coarse, and Chocobo's going to have to carry me on Tuesday. But thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week for the Bonefeather Cagelocke. We'll see you later on Millie's. We'll see you much later for the Pokemon festivities on this channel. Have an excellent day, everybody. Stay safe, stay awesome. And peace.